National Fishermen and Pacific Marine Expo are proud supporters of the Galley Stories podcast, as we make similar efforts to highlight the people and topics that define commercial fishing. You can see what that looks like in print and online all year long, as well as every November in Seattle when this community comes together at PME. Check out nationalfisherman.com and pacificmarineexpo.com to learn more.
Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by Alaska Brewing Company out of Juneau, Alaska. Go check out their new Wild Ness beer. Launched on March 1st, any place that you got a good retailer near you or your favorite watering hole. Here we go.
Hello and welcome to Galley Stories, stories of the Bering Sea and beyond, hosted by Mark Kaler. My name is Penka Jane, podcast deckhand and longtime listener. We'd thank you to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review. Here's today's catch.
Hello guys, and welcome to another installment of Galley Stories, stories of the Bering Sea and beyond. I am your host, Mark Kaler. And today we have Captain Brian Barter with us here out of Booth Bay, Maine. How are you, Captain?
Good. Thank you.
So, where were you born and what was your introduction into commercial fishing?
I was born 30 miles up the road, Bath, Maine, with the shipbuilders of all the destroyers. That's where I was born. Went to grammar school. We moved down here, Booth Bay, the 7th grade summer, so a little bit of grammar school here, high school here, and I was introduced to the fishing. My half brother did 2 terms in Vietnam, got out, wanted to go lobstering, and actually we knew nothing about it. I knew nothing about it. He didn't know much more than I did. And we get started, and it's too bad we should have listened to a few other people, but it was all hands on. So after Marine Corps, off we went, and I helped him weekends, after school nights. Eventually, got a little older, and went hauling with him weekends and school vacations and summers and stuff like that. And then jumped, went out fishing with a few other guys. But back then, it was all wooden traps. We had to build wooden traps, 3-foot wooden heads, and with them. And today, no, these guys today, they wouldn't know how to do that. It was, and then you when you had them all built, you had to sink them with bricks for 3 days to get the air and get the wood soaked enough so it would sit on the bottom. So that was another. It was a lot of work, but anyway, so we did that, and then so other than that, in high school, the local fisherman was trying to build a lobsterman's co-op. Fishermen's going sell at local restaurants and see what they could do, but a couple guys in town was clever enough and smart enough to pull this off. They said we need 30. We ended up with 36 fishermen, lobster fishermen, and I was in high school. I was a junior in high school, and I had to borrow. We all had $100 what to get in. And all the people in town thought we was crazy. This will never work. You guys are nuts. Of course, that really, got the game going. So I had to borrow $50. I hit $50, and I had to borrow $50 from Greg Wright, Alaska fisherman now, and I said, let me have $50 for 2 weeks. I said, money wasn't as free as it was back. It is today. So at any rate. So I paid the $100 what to get in, and they started the lobster. We bought a waterfront property, and 36 of us went in and bought it. So, and again, I was in high school, so I was still steermanning and just getting started. Had a few lobster traps hauling by hand out of a skiff, but I stayed there to start to finish, from 1970, I think it was, all the way up to 34 years. With the board of directors, and we bought lobsters from other fishermen, non-fishermen, co-op members, but we treat everyone the same. You could charge boots, bait, oil, cigarettes, anything you wanted. But come December 15th, on the bonus time, we all kept back 25 cents per pound. And at that time, December 15th, when we paid out a bonus, no matter on how many lobsters that you caught per year, you could pay off that bill. Whether it's $500 or $1,500, it was totally up to you and the board of directors, the secretary of the board. No one else knew anyone else's business. We treated everyone the same. We paid Blue Cross Blue Shield at the time. We had dividends coming out of there. A dividend out of hard shell lobsters if you was that good. I didn't catch many hard shell lobsters, but it was fun for a long time. It was really fun. We always hired all the fishermen's daughters to run. It was a kitchen. Also make lobster rolls, shrimp rolls, clamp, all that stuff.
All on this property that you guys got?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it was a wharf with a kitchen, so we could sell our own product. But we hired all the fishermen's daughters or their wives, cousins. So it was a town-oriented family, but it really went well for quite a few years. And then all of a sudden, people die off. We had to buy their shares back. That wasn't a problem, but things just got a little hectic, and so until the end of it, we sold out 34 years later. So that was one of my accomplishments. And after lobstering, we'd go shrimping. So we built 300 shrimp traps by hand, spruce live, what do you call them? But anyway, we built 300 from the start to finish. The day we started till we put them overboard, we built 300 and overboard in 30 days. 4 of us. But that was fun. Shrimping was good. It was a good filler. It was good money, good filler, and we used the co-op would buy all the shrimp for the shrimp rolls for the next summer. That was a money maker. And then that's about it. Then so I kept on fishing a smaller boat, and all by hand, and the bigger boat, and the bigger boat. And I ended up with a 36-foot Stanley, very nice boat. And I saw that one Friday afternoon coming out of high school. One came in town on a trailer. I said, boy, that's beautiful. I'm going to have one of those. And back then I only had 100 traps, but I said, I'll keep going, which I did, and I ended up with one. So that was good. Other than that, sold out to things got a little hectic because Stearman was not available at the time. You pay him $300 a day at the time, and you got to go get them, babysit them. I call it babysitting. Take them home, buy the lunch and all that stuff. But it just got babysitting was getting a little too much. So I had a chance to sell out to a local fish market. His son wanted a bigger boat. So I gave him a deal. Everything goes. You buy it, I'll even throw in a pickup truck if you want it. But everything's got to go. And at one time I fished 1,000 traps. Wooden in wire, and I had to switch all over to wire. So that was always that was costly, but it was worth it. Don't get me wrong, but it was a transition that you had to go through. So this kid wanted to buy it, so I let him have it. And at the time, back in the 60s, I think, all these offshore lobster permits were free. All you had to do is check your name and number on a postcard and send it back to the state of Maine. And you had an offshore lobster license and a groundfish license, I think it was. And that was it. And all of a sudden, like 30 years later, they started, people wanted to go offshore. So they started accumulating some money. So I gave mine away to the boat. It was a family affair. I knew his father, his grandfather, and all that stuff. So I said, I'm going to let it go. It didn't cost me anything, but I could have sold that for $40,000. And I probably kicked myself in the butt now, but at any rate, I did it.
Helping the tradition continue.
Yep.
What, Brian? What was your best time? Excuse me. What was your best time on the water? Do you recall?
Oh, I did lobster. I did it hard. I won't, but it was fun. If you get a guy in the boat, raise some hell, put the radio on, and it was all clockwork. And then it was really fun for a lot of years. And I had my daughter. She was in high school, so I taught her how to do things. Don't pick them up and just slide everything. It's all this movement and slide everything. So I'd pay her, of course I'd pay her a little bit more because of my daughter. but it was fun, and was my best. That was my best time.
Was with your daughter?
Yeah.
What about your worst time?
It was all fun. It was, boy, I was one of the first ones out and the last ones in. It was fun for a long time. I made some money, but as you know, going fishing, everyone's got their hands out when you get in. The bait man, fuel man, and hope like hell you don't break down. You know, so yeah, get married. You know, my daughter. Then I got divorced after 20 years of that, and shortly after that I had a heart attack. So that kind of took the winds out of my sails. Yeah.
Slowed you down a bit?
Excuse me?
Slowed you down a bit?
Yeah. Yeah. So at any rate, that's about it. It was fun for a long time, but then now it gets crazy. You know, they want to get paid before you leave the dock and all that stuff. And
You mean the crewman?
oh yeah. But
Can you explain what a stern man does?
oh, he helps you with it, getting the bait ready in the morning. I used to shovel 3 barrels of bait, anyway from 2 to 3 barrels of bait in the morning before you even go. You know, and get everything to go for that morning. He'd help you. If I had a 5-trap trawl, I'd pick out of a trawl, I'd pick at least 3 traps out of 5 coming out to help them out. Put all the lobsters in the cow box, cull them out till we go to the next set of gear onto another island, and so no, it was a big help, of course. But if they don't show up in the morning, you got to go by yourself, and that's a kick in the butt. So you're planning on hauling 350 a day. Now you only can haul. I can only haul 100 and 150 alone to do it right. You know, to take my time and bait bags and all that stuff. But other than that, like I said, it was there was a big help. But I'd pay them lobsters, so at the end of the year they would get a bonus. But now it's a percentage. A lot of guys going percentage. It's changed there a little bit. But other than that, that's about it. But I liked it. It was fun being yeah. But have that co-op, just like some summer person told me once down on the co-op dock. He said, "Well, this co-op with a restaurant and everything, this is kind of like an L.L. Bean in Booth Bay Harbor." I said, "Well, that's a good way to put it." Everyone wanted to go to the co-op, see the local activity. They'd hang out off on that 2x4s, a railing. How you doing, like this? And I always give them a couple minutes of my time. You know, if they want to get in, if they had a little kid on the dock, I said, "Look, you want to come in?" And I always took a picture, put them up on an upside down bucket, and took a picture of them on the steering wheel. You know, and they loved it. They loved it. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah. I always give them a couple minutes because next year when they come in town, they're going to go to the Lobsterman's Co-op.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I was rowing in one day with my skiff, and I looked up, and this guy and his wife was looking down over the railing, and I said, "What are you hunting for, me?" I'm like, "Well, I lost my diamond ring. I just got married last year, my anniversary ring or something, my wedding ring." And I said, "You lost it overboard." You know, butter on the hands and wiping. I said, "Well, okay." And my kid stared at me and said, "Well, you can't get that, Brian." I said, "Well, why not? I've been watching MacGyver on TV." I said, "The only thing I have in this skiff is a Clorox baler. I have an oar, and I got a jackknife. That's about it." And the tide was coming, so my arm wasn't long enough to get. I could see it, but I couldn't get at it. And once you hit that mud, because you couldn't see there for an hour or so. So, quick like, I took my jackknife out, cut a hole in the baler, Clorox baler, stuck my oar in it, and down I went, very carefully, and I picked that ring up. And they came down, you know.
Yeah.
And the husband, whipped out his wallet. I said, no, I don't want any money. No. But when you do come back in town, have lunch here at the co-op. We'll do that, sir. So I made the day.
That's awesome. So if you had to put it into a description of what the sea has given to you, what would that answer be?
A lot. You see beautiful sun-ups and sundowns. Beautiful. The seagulls, the islands. Because in the wintertime it's not so good, but you got to really buckle down and bucket and leave in the dark and come home in the dark if you're, daily trips and haul as many as you can haul. No, it's been good to me. It was fun for a long, long time. Did I answer that question right?
Sure.
It's good.
What has the sea taken away from you?
A few traps now and then. Get greedy and put them a little close to the shoreline, and Mother Nature comes. Well, you can't play with Mother Nature. I do know that. You play with Mother Nature, and the old boy for Bob will take the chair right out from under you. It's just how it is. And these young fellas, I hope they realize that. But you got to respect it. And I always listen to the old fellas down the islands. Anywhere where there's a co-op meeting, anywhere with 3 or 4 older fellas, because I was young back then when I started out in high school. But when they spoke, I listened. And because there was no plotters in, there was the color machine, paper machine was just starting to come out. We always had the bubble gum machine there. We used to call it the bubble gum machine, the depth finder. But that was all new. So, you got.
What did the bubblegum machine do?
It tells you the depth of the water.
Now, how did it do that?
It tells you the spin, the sensitivity. It tells you the depth of a transducer on the bottom of your boat. Mm-hmm. Sends a signal back up where you are. You're 12 fathom, 15 fathom, or whatever fathom you're in. And we always talk fathoms. So there's 6 feet to a fathom. And then all of a sudden, my buddy shows up, Jeffrey, says, Brian, he says, you got to buy a color machine. Jeffrey, I just bought this for $700. I said, come on, I got a family, I got a new house, I got a baby. Jesus, I just spent $700. I said, I don't know, but he said, you got to buy one, Brian. It's like you catch 20% more per catch, per haul. It's the sensitivity of the showing of the colors of the rocks and the ledges, So sure enough, I had to spring out. Next year I sprung out and I bought a color machine, which is very nice. And he was right. You made a lot more money. So you got to keep up with the times in the fishing business. The plotter came out. I said, geez, that's $3,500. I said, oh my God, I can't afford a plumber. And my brother said, well, if you don't, you got to give it to Uncle Sam. I said, well, you can play that game all day long, but at any rate, so I did, which is very nice. Hondex plotter, when you leave the dock, it follows your tracks. You can put your tracking system on if you want to do that. And every day was a color code. So if I set out in green, and then 3 days later I'd go haul that gear, I would erase the green and put down red or blue. It was all colored. And if you forgot a trap down there, a string, that dot would be still green. So, oh my God, But at any rate, it's all, you're going to keep up with the times. If you don't, you're going to fall back. And some old fella told me that once. I said, gee, bud, holy moly, Brian, you got to, which he did. He always kept up with the times, which he did. But now, everyone's going deeper, bigger boats, more power. So, I think I was in the best era of it. Saw the old timers get out of the old Model A's, one line of 6 cylinders, and the V8s, and wooden boats into fiberglass boats. I've seen all that, and now the kids today, I praise them. Go for it, buddy. Go for it. So I said, if you want an 800,000 horse outboard, diesel, go for it. because in which they do. They leave and they get all the LED lights and all that stuff. But if you're not lazy, you make a good piece of change. And again, you got to be honest and just go as hard as you can, and everything falls in place.
Yeah, times are a lot different than your rowboat.
I hear that. Yeah, times are a lot different. Yeah. You know, some guys go hard, and some guys can catch lobsters. Some guys, they're good, but they stay there. Or I'll say they had a father to go by, an uncle. I didn't have that. I had to go with the seat of my pants, but it all worked out.
Does your brother still fish?
He fished until probably 80s, and then he got out of it, and he went to a shipping company. He shipped lobsters like all over the country, or further. He did very well at that. And then after that, he opened up a restaurant in downtown, Kayla's. He's my half brother, Kayla's and Sons downtown, which have been there 25 years now. I think they just had an anniversary. So yeah, well, he passed away 10, 12 years ago at least. But at any rate,
is the restaurant still there?
Yeah, his oldest son. He got three sons. Sam's taken, and his wife's still there. She just turned 80 last week, and so it's a family business, and they do very well after COVID and all that stuff. But
lobster? Do they serve lobster?
Oh yeah, lobsters.
oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. And then you want to eat. Yeah, now they got rid of the waitresses because they were so hard to come by, and so they put up you order from the wall, and you clock into this machine, and you go sit down. They call your number, so you're the waitress. So it works out better, and there's no hassle. And I can't make it in today. You could try to find someone else to fill your spot and all that. So it's working out pretty good.
What advice would you give for young folks that are thinking about getting into lobstering?
Oh, I don't know. There's too many the rules and regulations now. I used, like I said, went 1,000 traps down to 600 because the government took 400 traps away from me. That was quite a challenge. And then the increase of the measure. Now that was a big bite. I think it went 2 years and skipped a year, and then the third year. And geez, all us fishermen at the co-op, we just, holy Moses,
Explain to us the change.
Like 5 3/8, 5 inches. Anything over 5 inches is illegal. You got to throw him back or her back. It's oversized, and then it's 3 3/16, I think, from the back of the shell to the eye socket, and they're increasing that every now and then, and they're talking about doing it again next year or this year, the end of this year. And the increase is only like 2 or 3/16, but that's your living, and that little small amount.
You're throwing back a lot of lobsters.
You're throwing back a lot of lobsters. So when this all happened, I said, well, okay, so be it. We just, well, come about 10:30 one day, and we're fishing down on the east side of Dems Cove. I stepped back, looked in my tank. I could still see the bottom of the tank. I said, hey, buddy, what's going on here? Well, they're all short. I mean, they're all short. They're short. I mean, you got to throw them back. And what was no longer. They're back. So it took a while for that to catch back up, seeders and all that. But it was all worth it because the catch has been real, real good lately. So I was part of that for at least 3 measures I know about. And then there's going to be another measure this year. And it's going to be a little struggle. But in the future, it will work out to be a bigger lobster instead of a 1.8 pound, it'll be a 1.25 pound or a good 1.25 pound. They're trying to save the industry. Mm-hmm. But think about it. I always say we're farming lobsters. You spend $15,000-$20,000 a year on lobster bait. You're farming them. We all put 1 or 2 escape vents in our traps to let the little ones out. I always put an extra one in. I'm not going to deal as quick. I want to haul as quick as I can, as efficient as I can, without overdoing a lot, so I put in another escape vent. So
You had a lot less of the small ones coming up.
a lot less, exactly.
A
But
lot less handling and.
yeah, but it was tough there for a couple of years before they get growing again.
You had to wait for them to get up to that size. Huh?
Yeah. But now these guys are going down. They're going. They only fish up inside now. I used to go down below in the wintertime, 50, 60 line down there. That'd be about as close as far as I want to go, 45, 50 fathom. Now they start there and go. They just keep on going because they get offshore permits, cost them a lot of money, and 3 mile limit, now the 5 mile limit, and a 15-mile limit. So every time you go to another limit, you're going to buy bigger life raft, more plotters, bigger e-burb. You're going to follow all the restrictions,
Go too far off, and you're going to want twin engine, and you're going to want,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah. But they got the LED lights up on top, on top of those boats now, even lobster boats. That's 15, 20,000 sitting up there. Just lights overlooking, at night. Go down Hall 300, take a couple hours off. And
I went out the other day. We went 11 miles out, and I got to tell you, there was a lot of buoys all the way out there. It just seemed like there was buoys everywhere.
And they're not coming inside. They'll wait. There's a waiting game now. They probably do it. What's this? The end of August. There'll be another spirit up inside. October.
Oh, the lobster are
The first or second week. There'll be another. But they won't come up inside to re-rig all those traps and shorten up all the inlines and stuff. And that's a lot of work. So they'll just play the waiting game, bait up until they come on again out there. But the guys inside, they should be doing real good. They should be doing all right.
Do you miss it?
I do at times. Yeah, I do.
What would you say you miss most?
Catching them. The challenge of, you're sitting off and you say, well, no one's out there. I'm going to try 15 fathom instead of 10 fathom. And so, so put out 3 or 4 strings on a Friday afternoon, get out there Monday morning, bingo. 15, 20 to a string. No one's around you. Why, God? Wow. Was it a mistake? Or did I, but I had courage enough to go try something else somewhere else in the area, So that's a challenge, that which pays off. And then sometimes it doesn't, but yeah. But that was, it was fun for a long, long time.
Sounds like it's been a pretty good life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But geez, today some guys order kits and they build them themselves and stuff, but you can't deduct your labor. You can deduct someone else's labor if they build the traps and they have them all delivered. So you're better off to do that than you deduct the whole work for your income tax. So it wasn't like building. A lot of guys do it to have their own weight or heads and tie them in. I understand that, but it's time consuming. But if that's what they like to do, then so be it. But it's costly now. Mm-hmm. Rope, buoys, high flyers, bait, fuel. I mean, we started out on 68, somewhere around then. I was like I said, a kid at the dock, and it was $28 a barrel, redfish. 5 bushel barrels, the metal ones, it was all right chock full. $28 a barrel, and we dumped it and shed shovel it, into trays. The price went up to $30, and those old timers, well, my goodness gracious, wasn't they crying? $2 a barrel. I don't know what I'm gonna do. They was crying and moping. And I told my brother, I said, $2. Well, $2 is $2, Brian. It's a lot of money. They get 5 bushel of bait back then. Now, 4 bushel of bait, I think, is $2.25. $2.30 or something like that for the same, herring. Herring used to be $70 a barrel for a long time. And now that's going to be $200 or more. It costs the guys $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 to go. For bait, fuel now up, sternmen are up like a percentage. They're paying $300 or $400 a day, sometimes more. Excuse me. But like I said, I think I get into it out of it about the right time.
Any regrets?
No. No, no, I don't think so. I had fun. We had fun for a long time. Then it got so, the stairmen, they get lazy, and then the marijuana came about, and they're all stoned, baked, and stuff like that. But no, I don't have any regrets. It was hard, You get a new house and new truck and payment, and you get a kid in the way, baby, and
Made you work a little harder.
yeah, you just got to haul a little harder and a little longer. But the co-op was good. The co-op was really good. If you needed $1,000 in the middle of winter, things wasn't going too good, or, you want to go Disney World or something like that, you could go down and borrow money from the co-op. It would be your money, but you could borrow and pay it back. Or who knows what. You want to borrow some money, buy some materials or something. We didn't do it, but a lot of guys, which you could have, but no, I think I saw the best of. But it was fun for a long time. But now I don't know. I don't think I could. I hear some stories now. You got to leave at midnight, get down there. You could steam for about 2-3 hours before you get on your gear. Like you want an 11 mile. Those guys are going to start at 15 or further.
Half your day.
Yeah. Then when you get down there and you get your spot, even when I was doing it, like 45, 50 fathom, I could fish near 7 guys. Comfortable. Guys run the co-op and guys from if you fish these guys and you're running with the tide, you're sitting out, you judge your tide out. But you throw in one guy that didn't know what they was doing, oh my goodness. Tangles, and that's all time consuming.
Don't most of you lay east to west or north to south?
Yeah,
just one
exactly.
direction, right?
But if one screws up on the judge and the tide, it could really, it really could cost you some time. So I really I really took my time and went, I went a little further down or a little further out, and so the snarls in 40, 50 fathom, it take you an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes. It's a big snarl. You get yourself out from under it. Usually I just cut myself and let everything go. It would be a lot easier. I think a lot of guys did that. But that's how it is. But now those guys they're down now. Bigger boats and all that, but it's still, But that's about it. I don't. Then I get remarried. So it's been 19 years this year anniversary. Very nice lady.
Met her yesterday. She seemed very supportive.
Yeah, very. Yeah, Lee Hammond. Her brother came up from his wife Joanne came up from Florida from teachers in Marco Island, Naples, and they live on the west side of Batters Island. They love Maine, and he is a fire trap license, so I still dabble in it a little bit when I go out with him. Mm-hmm. But other than that, no. I'm glad I married Lee Hammond, and very, very supportive. So,
well, Brian, I can't thank you enough for taking the time.
Yeah,
sharing your story with us. Any final thoughts from you? Anything else you'd like us to know?
No. If anyone gets in this business, lobster business, I know their fathers and uncles have gone, blah blah blah, and they get help, and a lot easier getting bank money. Well, remember back in the 50s, 60s, the bank wouldn't give a fisherman any loans. They'd have to give you a loan for the person who you fish for, like Brown Brothers or a restaurant. They would back you. They wouldn't, as a poor man's living. Now the young guys, they go, that's nothing but 50 grand, So it was but I would say they better have respect for the ocean. Yeah. That's what I would say, because it can switch quick. If you don't, when you least expect it, something will happen. But you go nose clean, be honest, fish every day hard as you can, and everyone will help you. If you break down, you blow a shaft over a propeller. I've done that before. 2 or 3 guys have called in town. I got a spare, come get it. Stuff like that. Which, now, I do the same thing. Just keep it going. So that's about the size of it right there in a nutshell. So hopefully these restrictions in the government, and I don't know what they're going to do. I hope it all works out for them. That's about it.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for taking the time today. And guys, we will see you next time.
Okay, Cap.
Thanks for listening to Galley Stories. We hope you like what the net brought in. Please leave us a review on iTunes. Whether you like it or not, we're not fishing for compliments. Look us up on Facebook and Twitter too, and reach out to us at galleystories@gmail.com.